The Deputy Minister of Health is appealing to doctors at the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital to return to work. A report by Mahmoud Mohammed Mumuni.
The doctors and nurses withdrew their services as a result of irate youth who stormed the hospital to demand the body of a baby, dead or alive. The workers fear the youth will return and they are demanding adequate security at the hospital to protect them. The Regional Police Command has since dispatched police personnel to the facility to provide adequate security. Currently, security at the hospital has been beefed up, but the doctors and nurses are yet to resume work. Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Alfred Sugritia, has appealed to the doctors and nurses to resume work.
The Ministry of Health will want to appeal to our doctors and nurses to return to work. The situation on the ground now is stabilized. After hearing from the Deputy Regional Minister about the security arrangement on the ground and after seeing the number of security personnel, both in security uniform and those plainclothes people who are around to support, to make sure that no attack occurs again, I think it's enough for the doctors and nurses to feel safe to return to work. I am convinced that the services that are rendered here, a lot of people benefit from it. Very high qualified people work here, extending all types of very useful services to improve the health of our people. If you withdraw your services because of a single incident, so many people will be affected. And it's not in our interest to allow that to happen.
He promised the matter would be investigated. Deputy Ashanti Regional Minister Samuel Yawiduse also appealed to the media to be circumspect in their reportage.
As it is, shouldn't add anything because otherwise it will inflame passions and it can cause a whole lot of problems as the police carry out their investigations. So the minister, the deputy minister, with the nurses and the doctors, and that soon they will resume and then render their services as they used to do. So please, let's see how we carry it, because the issue spans around mismanagement of information.
The deputy minister and his entourage later visited some of the wards in the hospital, which were mostly empty. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report.
In a related development, the family of Suwaiba Abdul Mumin, the woman whose baby is missing at the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital, are insisting authorities must produce the child, whether dead or alive. In a statement, they indicated their preparedness to get to the bottom of the matter. Another report by Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin.
The statement signed by the family's spokesperson said the decision of the doctors and nurses to withdraw their services with the excuse of not being safe is a ploy to stop the family from demanding the body of the baby, dead or alive. The family described a statement by the hospital that Suwaiba had given conflicting accounts of the missing baby as attempts to discredit their side of the story, and again said stories making rounds that Suwaiba, on her way from the labor ward to another, collapsed but was quickly revived was untrue. Suwaiba's family is alleging that midwives invited by the police had been uncooperative and threatened not to report to the police to have their statements taken. The family spokesperson Mohammed Abdul Rahman, who signed the statement, disclosed that a peaceful march of the youth was met with insults and physical abuse from staff of CATH, and this resulted in a clash leading to the arrest of some of the unarmed members of the group. Meanwhile, the family has appealed to the aggrieved youth not to take the law into their own hands. The family said it is disgusted at the current twist of events, adding that media platforms are now busy with CAT's version of the story. The statement also described the explanations of the Public Relations Department of the hospital as exaggeration in connivance with the police to seek public sympathy. Meanwhile, doctors and nurses who withdrew their services at the labor ward are yet to resume work.
Also remain with health, and the Ghana Health Service is expected to table a motion before Parliament which will see community-based health planning and service, or CHIPS compounds, increase the amount of services they render to patients. The motion, when eventually passed by Parliament, will, among others, make chip compounds NHIA-accredited institutions. Chip compounds have been identified by government as critical in the achievement of Millennium Development Goals 4 and 5, which seek to reduce maternal and infant mortality by half by the year 2015. A report by Yafuswa Jimfi.
The Ghana Health Service, together with its development partners in 1999, approved the use of community-based health planning and services, or CHIPS compound, as a means of making primary health care accessible to all, particularly those in rural communities where access to health care is often non-existent. Government has since bought into the idea of the CHIPS compound. There are currently over 600 CHIPS compound providing healthcare services to people in the country. But the Ghana Health Service says it would need more than the current number of CHIPS compound if it is to adequately cater for the health needs of the population, adding even the proposed 1,600 compounds will not still be enough.
So the 1,600, we are looking at the committees giving support, we are looking at the district assemblies, and then the central government. So sometimes from here to we plan, project, and then try to see where we can get from our budget. Health partners come in and they are prepared. But they are not even enough. But for the most important thing is that getting health workers working with the community in all electoral areas so that nobody is lost.
But not all are amused about the idea of the CHIPS compound. President of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Edusei Poku, says instead of government spending resources to build CHIPS compound for the various communities in the country, it should also channel some of the resources into building clinics for the communities.
I even heard that they're putting up CHIPS compound to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality. It is not the truth. Even not any other doctor can even reduce neonatal mortality, more so CHIPS compound. What the caliber of people there? Some of them, we must take the politics out of those things and call a spade, and then manage our health systems properly. Yes, the CHIPS compound may help, but not at the level that politicians want to talk about everything. I think the CHIPS compound is a panacea to our healthcare system. I don't think it's the.
Whilst the debate rages on in the health sector, government appears to be standing by its belief that the CHIPS compound are the best way to provide reliable health care to the ordinary Ghanaian. As a result, the CHIPS compound would soon be added to the list of National Health Insurance accredited institutions.
Now the formula, they alter it, and a lump sum will be given as a performance-based financing to those people at the CHIPS zone as they go around, so that we make sure that they've actually gone to look at the people. And those who've been discharged from hospital, they actually follow them up to ensure they adhere to their medication.
Officials are now looking up to Cabinet to prepare the bill and forward it to Parliament to enable it pass a law that makes CHIPS compound a key institution with access to the National Health Insurance Scheme. Yafuswa Jimfi, Joy News, Accra.
Now, traders at Adeshaman Gardens in Kumasi have been affected by yet another demolition exercise, and this was shortly after some of them raised part of their structures to resume business.
The traders are accusing two of their leaders of conniving with one Nana Osei Tutu, who is claiming ownership of the land, to demolish their structures. The affected traders were unhappy with the exercise. While some were wailing, others stood helplessly thinking of the way forward. Most of those affected were obviously displeased about the exercise. They later marched to the Menchia Palace to register their protest against the demolition. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report for Joy News.
Authorities at the University of Ghana have condemned a demolition of a toll booth under construction there on the orders of National Security. National Security Coordinator Colonel Larry Bevlo-Lati says the toll booth and the activities of the attendants were disrupting traffic flow on the main Tetekwashi to Legon Road. But the university says the action was inappropriate and uncalled for.
The demolished toll booth was sited at the Oponglo entrance to the university, a short distance from where attendants have been collecting controversial tolls from motorists seeking to use roads on the university campus, primarily as a thoroughfare. But the National Security Coordinator told Joy FM this was creating nuisance for motorists on the main Tetekwashi to Legon Road.
It's causing a lot of nuisance because the traffic juts back into the traffic light, and people coming on the highway from a bridge to Accra, from Medina to Accra, get stuck there for long periods. We found that to be unacceptable. Complete nuisance too, causing complete disaffection to the general public. What we did was to send people to go and tell whoever is in charge of that security thing that that was a wrong place to locate whatever they were doing. Nothing happened. They continued. The situation was the same. I went there personally on Sunday, left a note on my complimentary card for his boss, who he said was ACP retired, Amadu, I think. And on that note, I said that that particular position was wrong in whatever deployment he was doing, because it was causing a lot of nuisance, and therefore they would have to relocate.
Amidst public outcry, 2 students were suing the university for instituting the controversial tolls, a matter which the Supreme Court is yet to pronounce on. Colonel Larry Bevlo-Lati suggested this would have been expedient for the university to wait until the determination of the case. The university authorities, however, say due process should have been followed.
In our dissatisfaction to the exercise that took place on the campus of University of Ghana under the cover of darkness yesterday night. It's distasteful, it's cowardly, it's unwelcome. So how come without consulting the university authorities, under the cover of darkness, a toll booth that is under construction is allegedly pulled down by the powers that be, not less than any state institution, but national security? You say Chief of Staff gave a directive. I do not have that directive. What happened yesterday night, there is no official communication to the university authorities. In fact, if you have put me further, yes, I've spoken to the Vice Chancellor. There hasn't been any of that sort.
The president of UTAC added measures were already being taken to address the traffic situation blamed on the toll collection exercise, and said the university feels threatened by the demolition. When we started tolling, we ourselves realized that it was creating traffic at the Oponglo traffic light. So what did the university do? We've taken measures to address that. They have moved the point of the toll collection further into the university campus. University of Ghana is over 1 mile square. Where did this take place? At the entrance. One of the entrances that the toll booth is being constructed. The next time it could be that a lecture theatre is being pulled down, or it could be that a lecturer's resident, a lecturer who is seen as a threat. So we are not safe. So we are really in a state of fear and panic. Meanwhile, the toll booth operations at the Oponglo entrance, where the demolition took place, have been relocated further up the road. Tolling has been unaffected at the other entry points. Matilda Bamagan for Joy News, Accra.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament has withdrawn the directive to the Roads and Transport Committee to intervene in the misunderstanding between the authorities of the University of Ghana and some students over the decision to toll roads on the university campus. This was after the deputy leader drew his attention to the fact that the matter is pending in court.
Remain still in Parliament as the Minister of Local Government was on Tuesday booed on the floor of the House by some members. This was after he failed to answer most of the supplementary questions posed to him when he appeared on the floor of the House.
After answering the provisional question on the order paper, the local government minister found it difficult to answer supplementary questions.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to crave your indulgence to have a deletion made in the response. State that a municipality that the geographical area consists of a single compact settlement and that there is a minimum of 95,000 people. That should be deleted.
At a point, he had to resort to some coaching from the majority leader, which caused him not to hear some of the questions which attracted the boos.
Speaker, may I crave the indulgence of the minister to listen, whether to listen to tutorials from the majority leader. He's not listening to me. Please address the chair. Mr. Speaker, you see, he got up to answer the question when I am not even finished. Address the chair. Address the chair.
Meanwhile, a scheduled visit to the demolition site at Ajekojo by the Works and Housing Committee has been put on hold. Information gathered by Joy News indicate the committee was informed by the leadership of the House to postpone the visit for security reasons.
And we're still staying in Parliament. The Economic and Organised Crime Office, YOCO, will be treated to a private session when it appears before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee. Chairman of the committee, Kweku Emmanuel, cites the nature of YOCO's work as reason for the closed-door session.
YOCO was billed to appear before the PAC on Tuesday, February 18, but had to be rescheduled for Friday.
We've decided that by virtue of the nature of work that they do for the country, we cannot take YOCO in public. And therefore, we are rescheduling YOCO to come to meet with the committee on Friday, Friday coming, 12 o'clock, midday, so that we can do YOCO outside the public purview. But any report that comes and YOCO finds itself in will be part of what we present to plenary. Only that we wouldn't do the sitting in public.
Also appearing before the committee was the Copyright Office, which is accused of violating audit regulations.
But there are certain regulations that actually should be given some credence to the work that we do. Do you know when they paid the withholding taxes? 17 February 2014. What? Public Accounts Committee, I think the public should notice that we don't send people to jail, but the type of work we're doing brings some money into the national kitty. Just our invitation alone has cost 205, 457, 657 Ghana cedis into a consolidated fund only yesterday because they were coming for a sitting. And if we hadn't done that, this money will still be there in the accounts. But it's a complete breach of our regulations.
We do. What we do is we reconcile the issue coupon issue book with the log book, so that whatever is taken and signed for in the coupon issue book is the same thing that is entered in the log book. We do that.
The Attorney General assured the committee her office will take action on the matter. Other organizations that appeared before the committee included Legal Aid Scheme and Law Reform Commission.
Chairman of the National Democratic Party, the NDP, Dr. Josiah Ayer, is suing the NDC and its General Secretary, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, over comments suggesting he is a car thief. Well, the supposed thefts, according to Johnson Esiedun Ketia, in interviews granted some Accra-based radio stations, happened during Josiah Ayer's tenure as General Secretary of the NDC. Dr. Ayer has, however, described the allegations as frivolous and wondered why the party has failed to report the matter all this while. The court action, he says, should clear his name and make the NDC account for the General Secretary's actions.
The court actions follows a war of words between the two on a number of radio stations in Accra, started by the NDP chairman, who described the NDC government as being constituted by a bunch of greedy thieves that took delight in sharing the national booty amongst themselves at the detriment of the ordinary people. The NDC General Secretary then responded, accusing Josiah Ayer of taking bribes from the New Patriotic Party and stealing 2 cars belonging to the NDC during his tenure as the party's General Secretary. allegations he has flatly denied.
Certainly, if their cars have been stolen, I advise the NDC to go to the police. But they know that no cars or theirs have been stolen. They're just trying to make cheap propaganda out of practically everything. That is why I have taken a personal decision to take them to court, because this sort of thing has been running for a while. Anytime that you try to do anything, then they bring scurrilous statements about you. It's not about me personally. I mean, why are they terrified? Why is the NDC afraid of me? I want to ask them, why are they afraid of me if, of course, I amount to nothing? Why is it that when I speak about something, some clear thing, some clear subject, rather than react to the subject, they think they must react to my person?
Dr. Josiah Aye also watered down comments by Dr. Clement Apak, a presidential staffer, accusing him of being an attention seeker.
We went to our Congress. We had a theme for the Congress, and we if you like, spoke to the theme. And then the NDC decided to react for bizarre reasons only known to themselves. I think that they are mightily terrified. That is why they are reacting the way they did. Because ordinarily, if a party goes to a conference and holds a conference and somebody mounts the platforms and makes a speech, even a fiery speech, that shouldn't, provoke the sort of reaction that you're saying. But they are, as I said, they are mightily terrified. We're not seeking attention. We're simply trying to draw attention to the central planks of our programs and manifesto and platform. That's all we're doing.
The National Democratic Party, he added, is currently undertaking a house cleaning exercise to reposition itself strongly to contest the 2016 elections.
We were embryonic prior to the elections, and of course things went wrong. I wouldn't say undermined, but the things didn't go the right way. As a result, we couldn't fill the full complement of candidates, and our presidential candidate could not also run. Of course, that took a lot of spirit out of the party, but that spirit is back. And we thought that it's about midpoint in the electoral cycle, and we thought that we should get started again, which is why we did the event in Kumasi that we did over the weekend. That was on Saturday. The whole idea was to bring activists, party executives together and try to chart a new course.
Dr. Josiah Aye first lashed out at the Mahama-led administration at a National Democratic Party Delegates Congress held over the weekend, where officials expressed concern about the state of the country's economy. The NDP alleged the nation was being run as though it had no leader and called on well-meaning Ghanaians to demand accountability from the country's leaders.
And we're getting very interesting comments on this particular story on Facebook. I urge you to just go to facebook.com/Joynews on TV. I'll sum it up with Ben's comments. He says, General himself, you and I were not there. Dr. Josiah should go and ask Dr. Baomi of his experience at his encounter with General at the Supreme Court. You and I were not there. Go to facebook.com/Joynews. Now to other stories. Traders in foodstuff are blaming a recent upward adjustment in transport fares for the increase in the prices of their food produce. They say although cassava, for instance, is in season, a quantity that used to sell last month at between 2 and 3 cedis is now going for 4 and 5 cedis.
Joy News' checks on the prices of foodstuffs in some markets in Accra reveal the sharp gain, even though most of them are in season.
Banchi abapa, yawo 300 banchi, yawo 400 banchi, yawo 500 banchi, yawo 600 banchi, yawo 700 banchi, 800 banchi. Nina ididi show. Na first 800 banchi no one mudi. Lot of 100,000 and one mudi 200,000. Nti so giba na so amfasa ina antosua. Wusu to wan wi bi nti na hyehyɛ transani.
A tube of white yam is also selling this week at between 4 and 7 cedis depending on its size, up from between 2 and 5 cedis 2 weeks ago. 3 tubers of sweet yam expected to be harvested in June is however going for 10 cedis. They used to sell at 5 cedis.
Na commission bonye de. Commission ye nketwa no yetua 300. Bon. Na akese no so 400. But sesia okay, asase baby egu no ene amo de baye ne ba na omo ji esasika no. Nti no esasika no ye de soso. But 300,000. Semi fancy etwa baye no ma 1.2 a. Now the 300 ne soso abaye 1.5. Nti wo bo an me 5 cedis esa obenya 20 Ghana cedis. But sesia no ye nya ne sa. Sesia no commission na ye 400,000. Wow. Ketwa no. How much the 10 city account man I 400. So by any say chama 1.5. Put the commission by count a bro a sa 2 1 me 5. And soon is sika.
This is no dos, no no do by no dos. This is a by no koto be and a paya makoto be by the other way na apro. This is a by no do and check. First no. Into ma woman motoba the customers complaints on kwa beto by na. Wouldn't say way papa man or be fear na pro. And yeah, so or coffee abaside the abba send by you man on apro. Yes, we are kokoto already. This is a phone the fertilizer need to be fertilizer and it is a by no and check.
The traders are also worried cocoyam is in short supply as 5 big roots which previously sold for 5 cedis is now selling at 10 cedis. Prices for plantain are fairly stable as between 3 to 4 fingers cost 1 cedi depending on the size and type. According to the traders, 3 fingers could sell at 5 cedis out of season. The January inflation rate of 5.8% for vegetables also reflected on the market as a box of tomatoes which previously sold at 180 cedis is now selling at 250 cedis. A sack of pepper which sold 2 weeks ago at 60 cedis now sells at 150 cedis, while onions sold for between 1 cedi for 4 pieces to about 15 for 10 cedis. Prices of fruits were generally stable as 100 oranges, for instance, was priced at 15 cedis and 5 big mangoes for 4 cedis. Abigail Adumakwenchi for Joy News.
Well, one person who goes to the market is me.
Oh, you do?
A lot.
Oh, okay. What do you buy?
Oh, normal.
All right, so that's all in the news. Before we go, though, we give you a quick run through the headlines. Deputy Health Minister appeals to medics at Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital to return to abandoned wards following recent mob attacks, even as the family of missing baby vows to get to the bottom of the matter.
University of Ghana has condemned, the demolition of toll booths under construction on its campus by the National Security. And already the National Security Coordinator, who's owned up to the act, insists, the action truly is justified.
And NDP Chairman Josiah Aye sues NDC General Secretary Johnson Asiedu Nketia for allegedly calling him a thief.
Well, many of you still have been sending a lot more messages on that very subject, but please comment on other news stories as well as other issues we will be discussing this morning on the AM show, which is live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Please just search for the page on Facebook, Joy News on TV.
But coming up shortly is Sports, is brought to you by Cowbell and Tigo. Stay on for the updates of the Champions League that went down yesterday. We'll bring you that and more in Sports.
We'll be right back.